I think we can look at this whole issue on a continuum. Not just you're this side of the Dallas Statement or you're that side, and therefore I don't have fellowship with you. And remember, this can go two ways, by the way. The anti-social justice side can call everybody over here a Marxist. And people over on the pro-social justice side would say, you're anti-social justice, then you're a member of the KKK. It could be that extreme, but it shouldn't be automatically. We need to recognize there is a continuum. You've got your fours, you've got your Marxists and socialists way out here to the left. And then you've got I'm for social justice without the Marxism part. I do think the government should be involved. Just individual justice and responsibility, maybe the government. That is such a broad range. On the other side of the spectrum, however, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 also. Do you remember? No. This is cross business. This is cross plus concern. This is, no, I reject social justice totally. And then ultimately you've got people who are like, white people are better than black people. Whoa, what a wide range of people. And I suspect, let's just say you're a number 1. How would you feel if somebody called you a Ku Klux Klan member because you're anti-social justice? You'd say that is entirely not fair. And I think that that is something we need to remember, because not everybody on the pro-social justice side is a Marxist. So now, let's just see if we can begin the conversation about where we should separate and where we shouldn't divide with one another. And I'm not telling you I've got this down perfectly. These little rings I'm about to draw, they're not going to be perfect, because even within these groups, there's all kinds of nuances and subtleties that are involved, because this is a big, messy conversation that we are having. But let's just see if we can get started with this. I would suggest to you, these folks right here, the ones on both sides, is there any reason we can't have fellowship with one another? What about twos? Now remember, these are people right here who think that government involvement is important. In fact, it's mandated. There are millions of evangelicals who believe that. They're not communists. So when you hear them say, well, I'm for social justice, and they fall in this camp, you shouldn't put them out here, and suddenly you can't have fellowship. You can't worship together, no communion together. We can't even go to a conference if a number 2 is speaking at that conference. What about the threes? Can we have fellowship with one another? If you recall, they reject social justice, the anti-social justice people. They affirm social justice sans Marxism. Yeah, all about social justice, really being active in stuff, dealing with issues of incarceration, government legislation, drug issues, poverty issues, racial issues, all about that. Of course, I'm not a Marxist. Could I draw a circle here? Now, I grant you, it's maybe getting a little bit trickier, but I think we could at least have this conversation to see, and the only way to do that is if we actually talk to one another. I think we'd all agree, look, if you're a KKK, you got big problems and you should be under church discipline. You're a Marxist, I don't know what Bible you're reading, but that is not what Scripture teaches at all. And I would not be inclined to go to a conference or to fellowship with somebody like that, because it doesn't mean heresy necessarily, but it means something needs to be repented of. There's something really big wrong here. Now, that's just my take. That's just my start on this. You may disagree with whether this should be a circle or not, but we can talk about that. But can't we at least agree that there are some people with whom we can still have fellowship? We can still enjoy and appreciate their teaching. We can still listen to their podcast because they're not a Marxist heretic. Hopefully, this helps bring a little clarity so we can speak lovingly, so that we can have unity where truth exists. Surprise next on Wretched.